Good. All right. Welcome to Strength Hammer episode I Don't Care because I refuse to look because it's hard. It's hard work. I'm your host, Chuck Moore. The no, I'm not. I'm probably not the strongest wargamer, but I'm everyone's most favorite fitness wargamer. And with me tonight is the usual crew. We got David Roke.
Hello, the strongest odor of the four.
Neil LaRocca. And Matt.
Hey.
I'm sorry, Big M from Big M's Power Hour.
Hell yeah, the most successful podcast in the world.
I mean, Joe Rogan called and he said he's going to hang it up just because he wants to give you all the space.
What else I got? He's done it.
He's going to give you a segment on his show, Matt.
Yeah.
Can't compete. Yeah, we'll go there.
He's going to bring Matt on to bring up his numbers. That's how it works.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys. I don't look at what our downloads are or our numbers or anything, and I don't care. So if you're looking,
have to at least be in the
twos,
three.
We are screaming into the void.
I mean, when it pops up on my phone, my RSS feed, I do download it and then I mark it as listened because I listen because I'm talking during it. So we're at least into the one. But anyway, this is the year-end spectacular show. I mean, that's what everyone does, so we're gonna do it because it's easy content. But first, we'll start off with our hobby and fitness catch up. So let's start with Dave. What's your hobby been since we last spoke?
Thoroughly limited. I have had the good fortune of playing a number of board games with my son in particular, and I've helped him. I've run some Dungeons and Dragons with just him. And he has thoroughly enjoyed that, as have I. And last night we did a paint and chat where I got my paintbrush out for the first time in way too long and put some paint on some Gnoblars. So got a little hobby done.
Nice.
Finally.
Nice. And before we go over to Neil for his hobby, I just want to introduce the fifth member of our podcast, My Furnace. It's about to kick on. So
Hey!
It's here. It's keeping us warm. It's doing the work.
It's engaging
job,
in its
Bernie.
own hobby.
It is.
Disrupting you.
It is. Neil, what's your hobby been?
My hobby has been putting together things for other people and painting things for other people. My daughter's been painting her Ideneth, and I've been helping her with many of those. My son got his first model. He is...
All right.
He was asking Santa for a Seraphon model, so he got his first Seraphon model from Santa Claus, and he helped me put together a resin model. So what that meant is I really put it together, and he got to spray the super glue accelerator.
And it also
Wait.
means he never wants to build another model.
Right, exactly.
Did you get
And
him?
then,
Did you get your son Lord Croak? Is that what you did? A resin model?
No, that was that solar banner.
Okay.
Astrolith bearer.
Okay.
So good.
Astrolith bearer. There we go. So
Oh, so good.
he's starting out the right way. He'll frustrate me with that, just like Dave has. Many times. Brings me back to when I'd kill that thing, and Dave like, I summon it back. Didn't do any rage whatsoever. Other than that, we did get some paint on that model, and then my wife got a little present from Santa as well. So she's been putting together her Sylvaneth, and last night she put together a Durthu and got started on Alariel. So finished up all those juggernauts for a friend of mine who runs Battlegrounds, and yeah, that's been all my hobby. I will actually putting together a little bit more terrain on my table. I've got a couple more mountains floating by my big mountain. I've got a few more trees scattered around to make it look more Realm of Lifey. So we're just going to keep on doing that until it's, overgrown as all get out. But yeah, so that's what I'm up to.
Nice. Matt, what's your hobby?
So for me, I managed to pump out an entire Sons of Behemoth army.
Yep.
In record time. Used a lot of contrast. The skin tone is really the only thing that I'm not a huge fan of. But I mean, they are supposed to be big, ugly wobbly men, so I guess it's all right if their skin's a little splotchy.
Yeah.
They don't have time for skincare, Matt.
Right. From the other side of the table, the skin tone looks like it's been done very well, but as soon as you pick it up, you're like, oh god.
Just always play shooting armies to get shot off. And then-
Yeah. So, whenever you want to put those KO down, just
Good.
Let's see.
And these KO right back here.
Right back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're listening on the audio, you should come subscribe and smash that like button on YouTube because we got pretty images and it's causing my camera to lag a little bit. But as I said earlier, I don't care. It's Marathi.
That's the motto of the show.
I don't care. Yeah. My hobby. Let's see. Boy, I'm almost finished painting up Teclis. I think I had the Shadowstalkers painted last time. I don't know. Paint up the Shadowstalkers and the Iron Scale Melusai from the Shadow and Pain box set. Tried to convince Neil that he needed to start Slaanesh. He refused, so I have some extra Slaanesh laying around right now.
Some would say an excess of refusal.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Methinks he doth protest too much.
I have his address now. I could just send it to him and just be like, "Hey, you need to paint these." He won't refuse then. Outside of that, handful of games, 5 or 6 games in my basement, some at the club. So just having a good time and yeah. Oh, and the Fight Club. Dave, cover your ears. You're not part of this. Thank you. So the Slaves of Darkness Fight Club is starting to get a little bit more momentum. Should be up and running here next year, and we're not allowed to talk about it. So cool. Oh, sorry, this is kind of big. There'll be it'll be out before this podcast releases, but at the time of recording, I'll have a blog post out tomorrow. I'm retiring all my old metal witch elves, and it's a lot because now I have room to paint lots of new plastic ones.
Is there going to be a presentation with a kilt and bagpipes as you rebox them?
Not rebox them, but I did lovingly take my tote that has all my old dark elves in it, shove them to the side, unceremoniously out of the way, and then continued. I laid down a layer of paper towel, and then laid them flat, another layer of paper towel, next unit, and just did that until they were all in there. So
He pulled up taps on YouTube and just put it at 2 times speed. And
I just want to point out, no, they're not officially retired until you've painted a gold watch on each of them.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Do it right or don't do it at all.
There are a few that are going to be elsewhere. So there's a unit and a few extra models are going to be part of the Har-Quran army that I have. There's also a bunch that I painted purple long ago, and I was going to do like some sort of narrative thing where they kind of got too close to Slaanesh, but they're not quite corrupted. I just decided they're now Marauders for my Slaves of Darkness Fight Club army, so that fit perfectly. So there's still some getting used, and I'm not above pulling them out for a narrative reason or for a photo shoot, just so I can shove it in people's face, be like, I have more Daughters of Cain than you, because I don't say that enough anywhere, ever. As you're all
I would
aware.
just be making brain out of those things like gangbusters.
And I'm
Here's a
glad
workshop
you
session. Here's a
sold me. I'm glad you sold me your Daughters of Cain extras because they deserve the rest. They've had glorious battles. I can confirm that each model in there has had at least one Kraith success, so it's good times.
Now, I would like to point out in reference to this Fight Club that you're not allowed to talk about, Santa brought my son a box of Chaos Warriors for Christmas, so that is the beginnings of his first Sigmar army, which is Slaves to Darkness.
Well, if him and Uncle Neil want to come on down, he's...
Yep. Santa knows what a good gift is. You know, Santa's got the shit. All right, so good job on Santa for
Yeah, Santa did well.
yeah.
Ho, ho, ho! Here's horribly tortured and corrupt warriors.
And guess what? They're old. They're not even the new ones.
But no, okay. In all honesty,
They fit comfortably in Santa's budget.
in all honesty, for your child's age, those older ones are probably better. The new ones have like the elbows separate, so I think you went the right choice on them. Santa
My,
Day, whatever
my
you.
6.5-year-old has put together those Chaos Warriors before, so you're good.
There you go.
Just let them run with it.
I guess we'll move on to the fitness portion of the podcast. Everybody's favorite part. This is where, if you listen to any other podcasts, where I was told to stay in my lane, and fuck that. Or no, not stay in my lane. Pick a lane. I pick all the lanes. I will go where I please. Much love, though. it's all in good. It's all in good fun. Yeah. So my home gym, Gains Workshop, is continuing to pop off. I have now a full-size mirror, so I can flex into it. It's not for checking my form on any lifts. It's purely for just flexing in front of it. I also have a scale, so I can weigh myself. And lots of other accessories. A good friend of the show, Alex, gave me some.
Weigh myself while I lift.
Weigh myself. What did I gain?
Weigh myself
130.
while I flex.
I pick things up and I put them down.
But outside of that, just doing home gym workouts lately. I am going to be starting a new lifting program here in a day or two. I finally decided on one today. It's called Dark Horse by Brian Alshru. He's on YouTube. He's a fantastic fitness YouTuber, and he does other stuff too. But if people are interested, I can let you know where to find that information, because it looks like it's a nasty program for 9 weeks of getting, as they say, hench.
That's a new one on me. That must be what the kids are saying these days.
I guess, while they're flossing.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, Neil,
Wow.
you and I are old men compared to these two. So
those sayings don't make me, want to just burn with rage at all.
I lift things
Can
up.
we say fleek next?
I
Is this
lift-
fleek? Are we doing
fleek.
fleek too?
Yeet the fleek, because I'm so hench.
Ooh.
I lift things up and put them down, as they
when
say.
did we stop doing this in English?
I don't know. A long time ago. Dave, you're next. Fitness, go.
I have committed to doing my walking exercises more. I'm old. I need to take it relatively easy, so I've done a couple 4-mile walks around the neighborhood, and now that we've had some inclement weather with much snow on the ground, I dusted off the old treadmill downstairs and put in some good workouts on there, so I'm getting it done.
Are you still on
Finally.
the power level version of your calorie counting?
No, I'm doing nothing.
Okay.
I, I'm
I'm with you.
mentally ticking off, yes, these calories look delicious, and that's all the counting I'm doing.
Yes, I took a near week off. Today is the first day where I started counting calories again, and I woke up and I had real breakfast, not pie or cookies, and my body was both excited and confused.
That's my entire state of being, actually.
Matt, how's your fitness?
It's been going all right. I can probably safely say that I was probably the healthiest person over the holidays, because
Mhm.
I don't really do anything different. But other than that, Neil and I worked together. He helped send me a couple exercises to help strengthen my back, because every time I've been trying to do anything, the back's been then just knocking me out for a couple weeks. So
Wait, hold on. Did you really just t-ball that up for yourself and not say because you've been carrying this show?
well, I mean, I didn't want to brag.
I mean, okay, all right.
Not me.
Continue.
But yeah, so honestly, the biggest challenge I've been having is just remembering to do it, because it's just not a thing that occurs to me naturally. So it's just trying to remember it, and which is bad, yes, but it's not like I remember it and then go, oh, I don't want to do that, because it's just, I forget exactly. It was like 6 exercises, 6 he sent me, and they take like a half hour, 45 minutes. Yeah. So they have been helping. I still getting back pain here and there, obviously, but obviously not a miracle that I'm oh, I've been working out for 3 weeks, so it's fine now. Everything's fine. It's great.
It's the secret. That's the
I'm
secret.
lifting cars. Yeah,
Nice.
so slowly, surely, I've been eating healthier. Like I'm sorry, I have a can of Pepsi here, or off-brand blue soda. Oh, nope, that's where the name is.
Yep.
So I only have,
Sponsor.
like-
I'll figure out how to edit video and blur that out because
brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi.
sponsor us, Pepsi. Yeah.
But like I said, so normally I would have like one for lunch, one for dinner, and then one after dinner. No, this is one this week. So
That's nice.
Wow.
and I've already had a lot of water.
Water, I mean, you can technically have too much water, but you really can't.
No, not a lot of water for me.
Okay, all right.
Two glasses.
Two glasses.
This week.
I think I'm up to 4 glasses today.
That's good. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Neil, what's your fitness been?
So
An
I went to
afterthought.
Florida recently. Yeah. I went to Florida recently, and my wife and I, while we were down in Florida, we went on a couple 2-mile jogs, and then we came back from Florida and we ate a lot of cookies. I've done nothing since Florida. It's been about a week and a half of just plain Christmas cookies. So tomorrow we're getting back to it. Doesn't matter what the weather is. We're going out there. I'm gonna slip and slide all over the snow, and I'm running 2 miles tomorrow. So
There you
it's
go.
happening.
Oh,
You
I
should
got
just been
the.
like, we ran to Florida.
We ran to Florida. We did drive back. So my wife drove down there, and we drove back. So because of the COVIDs, and I did fly down there, and I basically wrapped myself, put a plastic bag over my head, shot some air up into it, and hope I survived. So, but no, I made it there, and we got COVID tested, and I was negative. So, and then I did get the COVID vaccine today. So I feel as if my superpower should be arriving momentarily.
That's the only time you're allowed to be negative on this program. That's
yep. That's the only time. Actually, I do have to call out yesterday, or no, 2 days ago now. I took my wife. She wanted to start joining me on some of my workouts. Obviously, scaling things down to her level, which is essentially a newbie where it stands. But I took her through a leg day, and it's the cutest thing watching my wife have baby deer, because it's delayed onset muscle soreness DOMS. Really kicked in for her today. So her going up and down stairs is the cutest thing to watch because she's just like a baby deer. And she's like, help me. I'm just like, no, it's more adorable to watch you do this. So
I remember those days in high school. Just, I did legs 2 days ago. I'm dying here.
yeah, it was really funny because like she went upstairs and she's just like, oh god. I'm just like, just wait till you go down. And she's like, oh no.
down's easy. You can get down one way or the other.
How quickly do you want to get down? Is the question.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just roll.
Yeah, I mean, and Neil, and to me too. Like I said, I haven't been the healthiest on the food because it's the holidays and my mom makes delicious Christmas cookies. It's not a long extended time. It's maybe a week at most that I haven't been super on it, but I'm still working out, still moving. And like you've been still doing it too here and there. So I'm not stressed about it putting me behind. So if you're out there and you're eating some cookies right now, don't feel like you're just enjoy the cookies and then get back to it soon and it'll be fine. Don't over stress this crap. Enjoy the damn cookies. Just don't eat them from.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Matt, do you
eat them till they're gone, and then it's game time.
Actually, so here's a little bit more insight. Today I knew it was gonna be the first day I start tracking my calories again. So last night after our paint and chat we did, and it was 10:30. Oh, I have a piece of pumpkin pie. If I don't eat it now, I'm going to eat it for breakfast. Now, that's completely against the whole point of it, but I still ate it and then went right to bed. So, gotta love it. Matt, do you have a holiday-themed Brush for Hire commercial for us?
Yeah, sure. So, out in the North Pole where Brush for Hire stirs and waits for the Christmas season, the Yule time, where he has his small little friends painting for him, and he just has them come over and he's like, give me that on Twitch. He's on Twitch. sitting there going, come here, come here. He's like, but and he grabs the painty thing off of him, and he's like painting it. And he pretends like it's him, but it's not. It's not Sean. Sean's not painting it. It's all the elves. It's all the elves. He doesn't paint anything. He doesn't even know how to paint. It's all elves. Brush for hire.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I love it. All right. Well, with that, the holiday message of joy.
We're going to get so many sponsors by treating our sponsor this way.
He doesn't know how to paint. He's making it up.
Listen, if I could get like Manscaped or like Dollar Shave Club or somebody that has like, you know, like here's, you know, shave your balls type of sponsorship, man, that would be an hour of our podcast would be just me going on and off about shave your balls.
Shave your balls. Brush for hire.
Brush for hire. Matt, get on that.
Shaving
Yeah.
him smooth.
He'll do it for you.
But he'll charge you.
So you don't have to.
But yeah, tonight's topic as our 2020 holiday extravaganza reaches its peak moments here. We're just going to talk about our top 3 things that happened to us or is within the hobby for us personally this year, whether it's a game, whether it's a model we painted, a release, whatever. If it's just one dice you needed to roll 6 and you got it, sure, it can be that. So that's what we're going to talk about. And yeah, we'll just kind of go around the realms. So, Matt, I randomly chose you first. So,
are we all doing 3 and then 2 and then 1, or am I just doing 1, 2, 3, 2, 1?
no, do 3, and then we'll all do 2, then we'll all do 1.
So I'm gonna do 3. Then you guys are just gonna skip to 2.
No, you do 3. Then Neil will do 3. Then Dave will do 3. Then I'll do 3. Then I'll choose a new order for people to go in and confuse everybody.
Okay. All right. So yeah. I mean, there's been actually a pretty decent hobby year, all things considered. So I mean, I think for number 3, the nice go up to bat to bunt. No, I'm gonna change it. My number 3 is finally getting Soulbound, finally getting the book. I'm a huge fan of RPGs. I have more role playing books than I can actually count, and so to add another one to the shelf is always a great pleasure.
Nice. Neil, how about yours?
Probably I'm gonna go very recent here and go Broken Realms. That was probably my number 3, which is still pretty high in my estimation. So, Broken Realms, just an amazing story that goes with it. I can't wait to actually get into it and piggybacking off of Matt there a little bit. We're gonna start our Soulbound adventure right there at the end of Broken Realms. So, I can't wait to kind of fuse those 2 things together. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's a good one. Dave, what's your number 3?
Well, as much as I would love to pile on Soulbound, I totally forgot about that when I was thinking of my 3, so that's honorable mention. But I think my third one is going to be, my number 3 is my son finally deciding, you know what, I want in on this. He chose an army that he will make his own with the Slaves to Darkness. So Santa brought him his first models, and as we enter the new year, he's going to start acquiring more, I'm sure. And that's very exciting. I've played a bunch of games with him with my armies, and it'll be great to play him with his own army.
So what did you get him? Just the box set of warriors, or?
It is the box set of these 16 warriors, the old style.
Okay, nice.
It turns out Santa was able to get those at cost for a unique one-off experience there. So he really wants to start collecting, though. He wants that with the thing on the Karkadrak or whatever it is.
He's ready for Fight Club at that point.
Yeah. That's all it takes.
I may have a couple extra Chaos Warriors, Dave.
Oh,
so I might be able to saddle him up with some of those. So,
along with all the various Seraphon models that I'm passing along to Logan. So it'll be a little
You're getting rid of your Seraphon.
Not all of it, just a small quantity of extra stuff.
I'm curious. Have you sat down with your son, like before bedtime or whatever? You tell him stories about Age of Sigmar, maybe to help keep him interested. Have you taken the time to explain the 4 Chaos Gods and see which one he's going to choose?
I have not.
Like even, and I don't mean that like I'm not trying to like make a bit here. I'm like have you seriously
talked
like
about
even
the
just like
3 Chaos God.
well, I meant like just like the loose, very like PG versions of the gods. Have you at least gone through that, or like if you just been like pick a color?
No, he has looked at pretty much everything on the website, because every so often I'll show him, because he loves looking at the models. And so his favorite of the Chaos Gods is definitely Nurgle. He loves the Nurgle models, the Nurgle aesthetic. So I'm guessing he'll want to go that direction. And his mother will not approve of any of the Nurgle models, so he's going to stick with the Slaves to Darkness models.
just make him green.
Maybe like, well, he could have these Slaanesh models.
Pick
How
one.
about this boob stick, kid?
Yeah, I thought you would prefer it over the one with the 2 rows of boobs. That's
Those were the only choices, I swear.
So I should send you the extra Slaanesh I have for Tom. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and I will never be allowed to go to Ligonier again.
You win some, you lose some.
Which one of those is the loss?
I don't know. I do live in a snow globe, if you've seen on my Twitter, strengthhammer_.
Yeah.
I live in a perfect, idyllic snow globe town. So, anyway, my number 3. I'm going to kind of double dip here because I can break the rules. Because
Host prerogative.
Yes. I have managed 24 games this year. Only one of those was on Tabletop Simulator. So 23 in person. I have one more game in my basement Wednesday. I almost had 2 more games, one with Matt. I had to unfortunately cancel on that one. But yeah, I've had...
He's scared of the Giants.
I am. I was going to take a freshly painted tech list and Lumineth over, and that list, my list, it's not the list I want. It's the list I was able to put together at this point, because tech list is expensive. Yeah, Giants would have had a field day with it. But regardless, I'm pleased to say that despite everything, I've managed to get plenty of Warhammer in this year. I've got to see all of you guys in person despite everything going on. So really pleased with that. And more importantly, because this is where the double dip comes in, out of those 24 games, I think around 17 of them were Daughters of Cain. And in total, I have rolled Kraith 27 times.
20 how many?
27. Listen, it makes me glad that I can roll that well, and especially because I think I had a game against Bill Souza, and I rolled 5 against him. He still beat me, but he was just like every time he's just like, stop rolling that. I'm like, I can't help it.
Oh man, you know what I should? Oh, never mind. I'm replacing my number 2.
Okay, well, I'd say we go to you, Matt. But
check
I
with your doctor first, Matt.
Yeah.
Change your number 2.
But I said I'd mix up.
Post pictures on Twitter.
I said I'd mix up the order. So we're gonna go back to Neil. Neil, what's your number 2?
Now back to me.
Dave's number 3 was getting pretty much my whole family into Age of Sigmar. So it's kind of started rolling with Amy coming to that first Nova. This actually goes outside of 2020, but that's where it kind of started. And then my daughter kind of getting into it, getting her first model when she was around 7 and painting on it. I think it was a Soulblight. There you go. And of course, because whatever, his sister has, my son is getting into it now too. So we're, we're sitting down there, we're modeling as a family and putting things together, and we're having paint nights and stuff. And it's just a blast. It's a lot of fun to do all that. So Dave's given my son some Seraphon models. I'll probably reciprocate with some Slaves to Darkness down there for the boy. So
does anybody's children want Slaanesh? I have some extra Slaanesh.
Speaking of which, Dave, I actually do. I've got out the Ideneth book and I've read stuff to my daughter. I've kind of taught her about the 4 different Chaos Gods. I've left out the sexy part of the Slanesh. But I kind
We'll
of
read this
explained it more
page
as
when you're older, dear.
like having a lot of cookies. You can have too many cookies. I've learned that over Christmas. That's a little bit of Slanesh influence there.
Mhm.
So,
There you go. Well, instead of going to Dave, Matt, number 2.
Yeah. All right. So my new number 2 is
Screw
from
that
that
old
event.
number 2. That old number 2 was crap. Get it out of here.
is from that event where you played Bill, and
The
who was
Backyard
it? I want to say
Invitational.
it was. What's that?
The Backyard Invitational, hosted by our good friend Mike. He was on the podcast talking about it a couple months ago.
Yeah. I can't remember which website it was. What's the one? The Spiky Bits. I think it was Spiky Bits.
Oh,
I might be wrong.
It was Spiky Bits.
Spiky Bits or about Lost
But-
Souls?
Yes. So again, as everyone who's watched any of the episodes remember, that the Backyard Invitation was literally just 8 of us, 10 of us,
I think
not
Eight.
a lot of us.
there's 8
was
playing,
8.
but there's 10 people there because
But
Roger
Mike
showed.
used
Mike was
BCP.
hosting.
yes.
Mike used BCP to organize, and so I believe it was Spiky Bits picked that up. Saw Bill's name, saw that he went 5 or 3-0 or 4-0 or whatever it was, and then posted the list as
Yeah.
if it was the new end all be all Flesh Eater.
It was
Actually-
the new hotness.
And it
Actually,
was like
oh, that's so funny.
it was the list that like Bill put together. He's like, okay, what do I have a chance of losing with?
What's going to give them false hope?
yes. So
that might have been number 1, but I'll put it as number 2.
I would say my number 1's going to tie into that, so remind me about that when we get there. But first, we're going to go down to Dave for his number 2.
My number 2 is definitely softer than it would be. No.
Brand.
I will say the narrative push from GW this year, the Wrath of the Everchosen book, I found really engaging. I really enjoyed reading that, despite not having any of the armies, despite not knowing the background of any of the forces involved in the book. I loved reading that book. And then, of course, the Broken Realms tale. That book was phenomenal as well. So I'm really enjoying this narrative kick they're throwing back at us. And I'm hungry for more. I want the next Broken Realms book. I don't know. Tomorrow would be great. But I can't get enough of the narrative. And as a fan long ago of the Realmgate Wars campaign books, I love the Broken Realms and these narrative books that are coming out.
I'm a
Yeah.
little jealous of you having all those books. I'm gonna do that at some point.
Dave, you and I should just have stacks of them because I have them all as well. And
Yeah.
we could just make. Matt, do you have any of them? Did you pick up any of them?
I have Mighty Battles in the Age of...
Okay, so you have the first one that
So you're-
before Realmgate Wars. That was the
That's
original.
book 0 of the series.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You're missing 1 through 4, Matt. They're
Well,
they're
I
well
got
worth
0.
it.
I've got 0.
Well, actually, no. I'm gonna make because my number 1 and number 2 are pretty interchangeable. So I'm just gonna make my number 1 my number 2 right now, so don't forget about.
You should see your doctor
Yes.
about that.
it's a
My
mess
number
down
2,
there.
right? Number 1.
Everything he does is a 1.5.
Yeah, it's a oh boy. So
Chuck just has a cloaca, I guess. Huh?
so my number 2 was running my own event, and I'm not gonna say I run Nova because everyone that helps me runs Nova. I just stand there and try to look pretty and answer the questions as best I can. But ran my own event, the Teyrathi Invitational. All of you were in attendance, and it was just a great time. We were just hanging out, having beer, just playing Warhammer, and it was, sort of competitive, sort of fun and narrative. I love that. I had a nice wrestling belt for the winner, and that's hanging on Bill Sousa's shelf right now until next year when he has to come back and defend it. But yeah, that was just super fun. But actually, tie into Matt's point, I'm not sure if it was the same website or if it was maybe a podcast, but the Nurgle list that Bill brought to my event also made the rounds. People trying to figure out what is this hotness, looking at the name Bill Souza. And I think the only person they looked at about who he played was his final match, which was Roger, who had his competitive Daughters of Cain list. Which is like probably the only other person there that brought a truly competitive list. So it was fun watching the internet go, oh my god, is Nurgle a thing now? It's like, no, not right now. Boy. But yeah, that's my number 2. So for number 1, I will start this time, and it is Broken Realms Morathi, because my girl Morathi, now a goddess, she is one with Cain. All is right with the world. She got rid of that awful city, Anvilgard, and instilled upon it the rightful establishment of Harkonnen. It's a glorious time for us Cainites, and the Terathian Temple, who conveniently was had their whole temple moved to Anvilgard prior to those events. So yeah, it's a great time to be a Cain lover, and okay, bit aside, it's a great time just to be in Age of Sigmar. That story is fantastic. I'm like the rest of you. I want more. I want it right now. Please give it to me now. So that's my number 1. Dave?
I would like to point out that Chuck is obviously someone who watches Return of the Jedi and laments the death of the Emperor. But so my number 1 is honestly those outdoor events. The one you hosted, Chuck, the Teyrathi Invitational, and Mike Ryan's Backyard Invitational. Those events were awesome. In a year where the one thing that was really missing from my life was physical, like meeting up with people, playing some games of Sigmar, being able to do that outdoors in a safe atmosphere was amazing. I had 6 fantastic games, of which somehow I won 3 of them. It was just a great time, and it's wonderful to know that there are a bunch of great opponents available within a reasonable driving radius.
Matt, how about you?
My number 1 is actually our game where I used my Lumineth bases versus your Slaanesh. It was like I've said before in the previous game after the previous show, right after that game, it was just nice to actually like click with an army, because it's something that I've been struggling with since essentially the General's Handbook came out.
The first
one. So it was something like that. I've just like I've been bouncing from army to army, so it's good to like find a place that I really enjoy, and it was just a tremendous game. Yeah, just all around. I look forward to getting these guys done.
It was fun taking my insignificant little spell casting, and as I'm rolling the dice, Matt's just saying no, and he was right every single time. He's like, nope.
That didn't hurt. The Techless Nope is truly amazing.
It is.
I'm probably going to have to get a custom-made shirt that has Techless's face on it and just a word bubble of nope.
But then you have to Superman it every time you want to.
Yeah.
No, you need you need 2 shirts. One is Techless's War Scroll written upside down, so you can just pull it out and look at it and reference it. So someone asks you, like, is that really what happens? Yep.
I think so. Yeah. It
says here right over my nipple.
Yep.
And this is.
All right. So we saved Neil for last on number 1 because he told us before the show that he has the best number 1. And I am in no way making this up and putting him on the spot right now. So, Neil, what is this amazing number 1 you have for us?
My amazing number 1 is my Karajan Overlord's army. It actually is.
Yeah.
Building it, modeling it, something that, like, when it first came out, The boats, I really love the look of them. It was kind of rolling around the back of my mind for a long time. Like, I really want to hobby this army, and it just so happened that playing through tournaments, and a friend of mine, Dan Moyes, winds up buying me a frigate for running one of the Ren 4 tournaments. Real nice guy for doing that.
Yeah, Dan's a hell of a
And so
guy.
then I had my first boat. And at that point, thank you, GW, for coming out and making a way for me to make boats pretty much my entire army. So I think I do have some engine riggers and some Sky Wardens and a couple of Thunderers, but that's really just all nonsense. It doesn't matter. So I painted these things. I built them up. I went out and I found some decals from that would belong on like a World War II bomber. So some pinup girls and put them onto the boats, just for pure fun of it. And I realize that doesn't really go with the dwarves at all or Age of Sigmar, but
Just paint beards on them.
I used to like the model right. World War II bombers and stuff like that a long time ago, and so just the whole process of modeling and building up the army was a lot of fun for me. I haven't played around with decals either in a long time. So, and then I went to Chuck's event with him. It was the only event that I got to play with the Caradron Overlords. I went 1 and 2. I won my first game. I promptly lost to Roger. I went on and I played Mike, and I've lost to Mike now. 0 and 2 against Mike, which is a disaster.
Well, I was actually really,
Oh man.
I was eagerly watching you play Roger, because he had Daughters of Cain, which, you know, shoot the heroes actually is a thing you want to do in that army. So that was a fun one to watch. And as soon as I saw you got paired up with Mike with Ideneth, and he got to tell you what you're shooting at, I was like, oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, so everything in my army just is meant to do that exact thing, and hope that you don't have a horde army, because I can't control objectives otherwise. And Roger's Daughters of Cain just happened to be the, I don't know what they call it, temple that gets -1 to shooting against
Calibra.
everything. And some things were -2 to shooting, so the shoot the heroes thing wasn't really working out very well. Although I
True.
did roll an incredible amount of 5s to actually get some cannonballs through.
Nice.
So I did do some pretty greasy damage to his army and lost like 40 to nothing. So it worked out very well. Yeah. So, but that I'm really loving this army. After that event that Chuck ran, I took it downstairs. I won the coolest award for the army there, so thank you, Chuck.
Get the best in
Rigged.
For that. And yeah, right. And these podcasters, they always win these awards, you know.
Oh yeah.
So totally because I'm on a podcast. And so I went and I hung the models up over my table and everything. And I've been playing around with not just the table layout. Now it's just a lot of clouds and floating mountains and Caradron Overlord ships floating around there. And so just that kind of hobby that I've been doing. And I plan to add some visuals too, some light effects. I'm probably going to add some smoke somewhere at some point on this table. Just since COVID's around, and I can't really play in the shop. I'm making my home table something to see. So something somebody's going to want to drive. I don't know, Chuck. 3.5 hours to come play on.
Yeah, sure. I'll be over.
You know.
I'm free.
Just stabilize that thing, Neil. Stabilize it.
I do have to build a little. I do need to spend some money on that. Yeah.
You know what? I was wondering, because you did have a pretty much a viral tweet, especially within the community, of your Caradron Overlords hanging above the table, and it looked beautiful, and rightfully so. It was shared everywhere and got tons of compliments. It's absolutely stunning. But I was kind of hoping. Now I knew when you went to Florida probably was going to happen, but that you would take one of your frigates and put the lights around it like the Bugman from the holiday animated short, and put like Christmas lights on it. I was kind of hoping you'd do that, but next year. That's next year's goal.
I admit it, that would have been pretty. Yeah, that would have been pretty amazing.
It'd been a way to
Well
get
thought.
to get that tweet going again. Gotta resurrect them.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Now we're just gonna get Chuck doing his.
my KO. Yeah. So I have one. I'm not sure if you can see it here. Hey, showing up. Yosef Bugmanson, the 11th. I got that for Christmas, and I'm tempted to possibly do a mixed Dwarden army, with KO being the central theme of it, of course. But so it's possible. It's possible. It's not the first time I've had Dwarden, because I have an 8th edition dwarf army I painted during the end times, so wouldn't mind painting some more, but we'll see. I don't have a terrible amount of plans for 2021, which I kind of what we're gonna slowly wrap up the show on here, is talking about general thoughts of what we want to do for 2021, because Adepticon's canceled. Okay, just whatever. Events aren't happening. We could moan on about it, but like, just make the best. You know, we're all gonna make the best of it. Do what you can. We have a great community online, so I'll start since I'm in here. So looking at 2021, a KO mixed Dwarden army is definitely something I've been milling about in my head. So that may happen. I am, as I said, retiring a bunch of metal witch elves, so I'm going to add a few more plastic witch elves to the force. Probably 20, and then kind of just pick up models as I want to, like Melusai here, Kanari here, whatever. But no real army that I was planning to build. So it might be that. I've been toying around with a Ynnari list in 40k, but that's, I don't know, like, doesn't really have a battle tome. It's like a codex over there. It's kind of mixing a bunch of codexes, so it's like I don't have a.
I mean,
sorry.
It can't be forever until they come out with something new. I mean, it has to be sometime in 2021.
Yeah, and like I said, the reason I want to do Ynnari is because it's the only army in 40k that symbolizes hope. And sorry, I like hope. That's why I play AOS. I mean, truth be told, but yeah. So the Ynnari army may happen. A KO mixed Dwarden army is probably much more likely, because I can also just add in Gotrek and bam, there's a quarter of my army done. Like, I'm going to have him in that army. Sorry. But yeah, that's kind of it. And then just kind of like just see where the hobby wants to take me. Like, but kind of keep it probably a little bit more casual this year. And like I said, no real hardcore goals in that. I'm gonna focus my goals more on the fitness, I think, for like harsh deadlines, since there's no events that we know of yet for 2021. But Dave, what's your general thoughts on what you want to do in 2021?
Ooh. So for our Soulbound game, I got so sucked in by the lore in the Marathi Broken Realms book that despite not having an army of them, I chose an Idoneth Deepkin character. At which point Chuck then said, you guys should each build a model of your character. And so I said, damn it, now I need to get some elves. So I'm gonna start the beginnings of an Idoneth force. Because I mean they're gorgeous models anyway, so it's something that I've sort of low key wanted to do for a while, and this will distract me from all the Noblars that I'm supposed to be painting, so that's also good. So that's a big thing. I really honestly, with the fitness stuff, I really want to kick it up and just be more consistent in doing the daily workout, which for me has been walking. But I'll take it. It burns plenty of calories, and do the back exercises. I'm supposed to be doing that. I got physical therapy for that, and I've been not doing them much. So I need to get back on that horse. So a little bit of fitness and a little bit of brand new army. That's where I'm headed in the new year.
Nice. Neil, what's your 2021 possibly going to be?
Well, with the keeping with the theme of hope, I am co-TOing with Mr. Matt Hayward, potentially down at Nova, as long as Nova does take place, and hopefully, from a medical aspect of this, and with getting vaccines out and everything, I'm really pretty confident that something like Nova can happen in the summer. So really crossing my fingers for that. I think we're going to get there, and so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Outside of that, I am just going to continue to work on hobbying, filling out my armies a little bit. I've got a Tzeentch force that was half Slaves to Darkness for a long time before they actually, got a book that was decent. So we're trying to remove all the Slaves of Darkness and put those in their slot, and we're going to try and build out rest of that Zinch, finish up my Nurgle here, and then there is a small chance, very small chance, that we might start a Stormcast army. So Hollowed Knights all the way, only the faithful, all that kind of stuff. I feel like it's a good army for 2021. Only the faithful.
There you go. I like it. Matt, 2021.
Well, the top priority at this point is get the Lumineth, get the first Lumineth army painted and put together, and then start on the second army with his the Stone Guard and everything, and then Slaves of Darkness.
Mm-hmm. Well, those will be like your Sons of Behemoth. You'll do those in like a week.
And I said, one thing I would like to do is I would like to get the armies that I have back up to a playable point, because like my Fire Slayers, I don't necessarily have a competitive list. I don't even really have my list is very squishy. So I'd have to, but you have to get a lot of models painted up for that. Same thing with my Iron Jaws. I don't even think I have 2,000 points of Iron Jaws after the last points adjustment, unless I bring a lot of Purple Suns. Just oh, they're cheap now too, so never mind. Cog, there we go. So I'd like to eventually get to the point where whenever it strikes me to pull them out and play with them. But and then like Neil touched on, I don't want to go into too many details right now, but as far as I'm concerned, Nova is I'm going to be moving forward as if Nova were happening. I have a very exciting event that I'm working on that I'm very passionate about, and I'm hoping it's successful, and I'm hoping that it gets embraced. But up until the time for Nova to say no, we can't do it this year, I'm going to be going with the mindset that it's going to happen. So got a big year.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys brought that up, because Nova is so far away that it's like we're all pretty strongly believing that it's going to be the first major event that comes back, because LVO and Adepticon have canceled this year, but by the way things are going, Nova is looking very, very possible to be the event. And actually, going into this year, there was going to be a decent amount of changes and mix-ups, and Age of Sigmar is going to be the best it's ever been there. And really, now we've just had more time to prepare and adjust things, so we won't reveal everything until it gets closer and things can be more concrete. But I think Nova's going to be a incredibly big event and party if it's the first one.
If you
Dave said he's coming too.
Yeah,
I did the what now?
Hell yeah!
Dave said he's coming to Nova.
Dave's coming to Nova. All right, that's great. Dave, so happy, so happy you're coming. Here,
now Dave is going to say that he
specifically
wants to try to host an event outdoors at his house. So
in January.
Okay, I'm in. I can do this.
I'm going to try to run one this spring when the weather moderates a bit, because I'm not shoveling back in the backyard.
No shoveling. It's the polar bear tournament. It's
right on top of the snow.
Right. Bring your snow pants.
Each round you have to take off like a layer of clothing. so
it's not that kind of party, Chuck.
Darn. I was saying it's gonna get down to, it's like, all right, turn 5, are you in the underwear, or do you call it turn 3 because you're cold? Extra layer of mind game going on.
Like where your head's up. You better bring your scotch.
Oh yeah.
That's what you get for going up against the walrus.
and I will just be watching the games from inside the house, comfortable.
It's what was it?
In your room.
There's a really old, I think it's like an old like Folgers commercial I remember as a kid, where there's like kids outside shoveling snow, and it's like 2 feet deep, and they're just struggling, and they're just having a heck of a time. And the dad's inside talking to the mom. He's like, "Man, it looks cold out there." Yeah, and then he goes and sips his coffee. He's like, "Ooh, burned myself." That's the commercial. These kids are just outside struggling and dying in the cold, and it's like, that's
and that's why you have kids. That's Right, Neil? Back me up on this.
Exactly why you do it. Yeah. And when mine start actually doing work around, I'll maybe reap the benefits of that.
There you go. But yeah, hope for 2021. That's what the Strength Hammer podcast is giving to all of you. So take it, embrace it. It's yours. But yeah, we hope everyone has a safe and happy New Year, because this will be coming out New Year's Eve. So if you're enjoying it on the eve, please be safe, enjoy yourself, don't overindulge to Slaanesh's excess. And if it's New Year's Day, hope you're having a good 2021 your first day, and just keep on rocking. So Dave, where can they find you?
I am Knight of the Dave on Twitter, and you can find me in the Facebook group Rend4.
There you go. Matt?
All you have to do is tweet at strengthhammer_. Hey Matt, and that's
because
that's the best way.
Yeah, because I will tell Matt, hey, someone needs you.
Yeah. Other than that, at the beginning of every month, you can keep an eye on this YouTube Weber channels, and enjoy yourself some nice Big M Power Hour.
Heck yeah, with improvements coming.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna streamline the process a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Neil, where can everybody find your lovely face?
You can find me at Neil Araka, the handle Ren4 on Twitter, and then on Facebook page Ren4, which has been pretty stagnating. It is reforging at the moment. It has been slain and is currently reforging.
It has been slain by the club known as Ligonier Legion.
So we need to get that going again here pretty soon. But yeah, so there's some more hope for 2021. The revival of Ren 4 and getting these bros back together.
Listen. All right, if you're part of the Ren 4 crowd, all right, and you aren't posting on there, you're making Neil sad. Neil, cover your earmuffs, Neil. You're making Neil sad. All right, and this is not cool.
I'm
if
tired
you want
of the 3 a.m. cries.
You guys need to step up your game and really embrace Stormcast Strong. Yeah, go post, everybody. As for me, you can find me strengthhammer_ on Twitter or Instagram, strengthhammer.net, or on this lovely YouTube channel, which you should be subscribed to, and smashing that like button, hit that little bell for notifications whenever we put stuff up, which is we're actually getting on a pretty good routine here. This one's a little bit off, but that's because of the holidays, but I'm excited for what's to come. And I hope you're all enjoying it, because at any given moment, I can be like, screw this, I don't feel like doing content, and it just disappears for a few months. So enjoy what you got while you have it, guys.
Weird shit.
And for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, that was a threat.
Yes. So
that was not a promise. Don't get your hopes up. That was a threat.
So, Happy New Year, and stay Stormcast strong.